Parliament is ramping up its schedule to 6 sittings a week as it races against time to address critical national issues before its July recess. High on the agenda is to clear key legislative business, including the mid-year budget review. And Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins me with more on this. Kweku, so what are the key bills that the House will be considering before recess?
So, Mamesi, the major decision that has been taken by the leadership of the House, particularly the majority leader, on the business committees to ensure that, like you said, the key businesses that must be transacted are transacted before the House proceeds on break at the end of July. There are a number of legislative instruments that have been laid before the House, which must mature into law before the House goes on break at the end of July. And you know, the law mandates that for legislative instruments to mature into law, they must take 21 sitting days before they can become law. They've been sitting for quite some time now before they were laid. And the 21 days will be at risk if Parliament does not sit on Mondays and on Saturdays to be able to get the maximum 21 sitting days that are required for these LIs to become law. So that is the major one that is there. When it comes to bill, there is also the matter of the legal education reform bill, which has been pushed by the majority chief whip and others, which is expected to be laid any moment from now in Parliament. And that is expected to break the monopoly of the Ghana School of Law. As we know now, any person that does the LLB from the accredited university faculties are expected to take an entrance exam and go to the professional law school, the Ghana Law School, for 2 years before they can be called to the Ghana Bar. There are those who have said that this is a monopoly that must be broken. It appears the government has listened to that, and in the NDC manifesto, they did make plans for that and are preparing to lay the legal reform bill, which will ensure that the accredited law faculties run the professional law program, and then the persons who complete from these programs will then sit for the general bar exam before they are called to the bar. That is there. There are a number of other bills like the Fisheries Act and other amendments that must be dealt with, all of that on the table of Parliament, and they have to do that before they go on break at the end of July. The July break is usually very long. When they go on break at the end of July, they will come back at the end of October. That is almost 3 months on break. And so all of these key businesses will have to be dealt with before the House proceeds on break. Then there is also the matter of the mid-year budget review that the Finance Minister will present. As per the Public Financial Management Act, that business must be transacted before the end of July. When the Finance Minister presents the mid-year budget review, sometimes they may ask for money. They may ask for further appropriation. They may ask for certain key changes in the budget that was presented the previous year. And where those ones require parliamentary approval, they will be referred to the parliamentary committees for them to consider and put them before the House. All of this takes a lot of time. And that is why the leadership of the House have decided that from today up until the end of the meeting, which will be at the end of July, they are going to sit Monday to Saturday. That is 6 days in a week. You'll get 1 day off on Sunday, return on Monday, and do a lot of work, Mamisi.
Well, Kweku, it's going to be long nights, a long working days in Parliament. And I'm assuming, there are some concerns being raised by members of Parliament who will be going through these processes. The workload, how are they reacting to this?
Definitely. On Friday, when this big announcement was made through the business statement of the House, a number of MPs did raise concerns. We know that a lot of MPs are aged persons, and a lot of these timing issues must be looked at. For instance, in the last 5-6 weeks, Parliament has been sitting between 2 p.m. and sometimes late into the night, sometimes I guess into midnight before the agenda because of the backlog of business that they have to transact. As a number of MPs have been raising concerns about that, the leadership are assuring that they are going to put in place measures to ensure that MPs are not overworked. And that would mean that if you are going to sit for 6 days, they're going to prioritize the key business. They must come as early as possible. And that is why members of Parliament have said that Parliament has been sitting since the start of June. If there were any business, the leadership should have brought the business to be done so that you don't require MPs to sit between Monday and Saturday. There are also MPs who are raising concerns about constituency time, where MPs have to go back to their constituencies on the weekend and then return on Monday for Parliament business to start on Tuesday. This new arrangement will mean that MPs lose out on that and perhaps get only Sunday to go to their constituency, especially for those whose constituencies are very far from Accra. That is a big challenge for them, and they've been raising concerns about that. But the leadership have convinced them that, listen, this is just going to be about 3-4 weeks, and then Parliament will go on break. You can have enough time to go back to your constituency and do what you have to do there. So concerns have been raised, but this has been rammed through, and Parliament, this wasn't much open to a debate or a discussion because a decision was taken at the business committee. The majority leader did intimate that the Speaker of Parliament had actually approved that order of business, and that is why they are about to do that. And starting from today, Parliament is going to sit 6 days every week until they go on break at the end of July. Well,
Coco, how about you? How are you also preparing for the long days in Parliament?
Well, the conversation around journalists is usually that members of Parliament, the leadership, when they take these decisions, they don't factor in journalists who are covering. Obviously, we do our work, not for Parliament, we do our work for our various media houses. And so whatever arrangement that is there, we do that with our various media houses. But as always, these are things that we expect. We are well prepared to be able to go through this, to be able to report on the key issues that are happening on the floor of Parliament and outside of it to the Ghanaian public. And so long as members of Parliament are on the floor transacting business, we will also continue to be there.
Well, we'll definitely get those updates from you. And that's Kwekwa Santia, parliamentary correspondent, giving us the very update from a Parliament. They're going to be sitting, throughout the week to ensure that critical bills are worked on. Now, moving on.